Welcome to this new video on Forza Horizon 6, where I'm bringing you some gameplay with this week's new free car that we're going to test on the Equinox. It's the previous generation Mercedes AMG GTR, so it's not a supercar or a hypercar. We're dealing with a Super GT here, so it's a car that's maybe a little less extreme than the ones we usually test on the Equinox, but it's still a powerful car. From what I remember in Forza Horizon 5, it was overall a good car in terms of handling and performance. And it's also been a little while since I last did a Top Gear Equinox for you. So let's say I'm taking the opportunity of this car being added to make a new one for you. This is the new free car of the week, available to unlock for free through the festival playlist until July 16, 2026. I guess that after the end of the season, there will be a way to unlock it for free through other means because the game developers promised there would no longer be a temporary car reward system. But for now, the developers haven't explained how that's going to be implemented. So basically, what I advise you to do, if it's a car you're interested in, is to really unlock it now, because even if there's a chance that later it can be unlocked in another way, this car is unlocked at 20 reward points this season, so it's very quick to unlock. I recommend you do the 3 speed traps, danger signs, and I think there's going to be a drift zone. Do that. Do the photo challenge and also the hidden chest there, the treasure chest. Then, you do the 2 seasonal championships in co-op or solo, and there you'll have your 20 points, you'll have unlocked the car in, let's be nice, let's give ourselves a little bit of leeway. 20 to 30 minutes, the car is in your garage. So, this car has an 8.4-liter twin-turbo engine from Mercedes AMG. It produces 577 horsepower and weighs 1,500 kilos. I remember that in 2018 or 2019 when this car arrived in Forza Horizon 4, I thought that 1,600 kilos was heavy for a car, let's say, a bit of a sports type. 8 years later, 1,600 kilos isn't surprising. Even electric compact cars now weigh that much. In the end, it's fairly acceptable. The car is very pleasant to drive. I don't know if we're going to get really amazing lap times and crazy performance with this car on the Equinox. Either way, it's a car that's really cool to drive. You can really feel where to place it. It's a car that's a bit lively, but it still stays well planted on the ground. Also, it's a car that still looks good for its age. Maybe I'll show you more at the garage. But whether it's the front, the profile, the sides, even the interior, which I'll show you later, it's a car that still looks modern, with the rounded fender, with the diffuser. It's nearly a 10-year-old car, but honestly, it doesn't seem like it. So we did a 250 with a stock 651 rating. It's one of the worst times we've done. Well, it's not that bad. Actually, we're doing better than some supercars or hypercars we've tested on the track, which still gives us a lot of hope to get a really good time once we've improved the car. Here, for example, we're outperforming the TVR Speed 12, a radical, ultra-powerful, and ultra-light car. We're also beating the newer, powerful Huracan Evo. That's pretty impressive. Let's see if we can, well, I was gonna say if we can customize it, but honestly, it's not looking good since the customization tab doesn't even show up, and there's no kit car either. However, there will be swaps. We won't spoil anything for now, but I think there's a way to make it even more powerful and higher performing than it is stock. However, I'm just realizing that the fact we can't modify the car's appearance at all means we can't install the Forza kit, which means I hope this stock car has adjustable aero. Because even if the stock aero was good, if we now have a car that's close to 1,000 horsepower, it probably won't be enough given the speeds we're going to reach. So I hope it's adjustable. We'll go check that out later. Just a quick note, this car already comes with semi-slick tires as standard, so maybe that's also why it handled so well to begin with. It's because we were already using, let's say, a pretty advanced tire compound. Cars that nearly reach top S2 without a swap or all-wheel drive. It's a shame there's no Forza kit, since we could hit top S2 perfectly. It actually has good stats. Alright, here we go with our upgraded AMG GTR. We'll check out the swaps and all-wheel drive upgrades later, but I think this is a car that's going to move up to the R class, which is pretty good. You know, that would still rank among the game's top categories. It seems a little bit harder to drive. I think the car is so much more powerful that you can feel it right away in the controller when you accelerate fully. The car slips a little, even with big tires. Even with slicks. We're still handling a high-torque car, so of course it slips a bit, but on the other hand, it has some serious acceleration. It's a car with 900 horsepower, but it feels like even more than that. I think that's because it's pretty light. Honestly, 1,800 kilos is actually not that much, so it really packs a punch. Here's a look at the interior. As I said before, this car hasn't aged much, and the inside reflects that. It's actually quite nice, and I really like the classic needle-style gauges. It looks a bit modern, but not too much, with the small yellow writing on a black background. I also think what helps this car look less dated is the central screen, which is turned off. That's what really gives away the age of these older cars. When you turn on the screen and see the old systems with the displays from cars, 10 years ago, you immediately realize it's a 10-year-old car. But apart from that, honestly, it doesn't look old-fashioned at all. Mercedes steering wheels and interiors have barely changed in a decade. There's even a bit of carbon fiber on the center console too. It's overall cool, and overall, once again, still very pleasant to drive. I don't know if this is a car where you'll set really excellent lap times, but just for the driving experience, honestly, don't hesitate to unlock it. I think you won't be disappointed overall. You see, it holds the road well. It doesn't slide out too much, the rear stays pretty stable. I think it's a car you can drift with, but to drift with this car, you really have to do it on purpose. Once the car is moving and stabilized, there won't be any problem. The shape of the car is beautiful though. Really, Mercedes, when it comes to GTs, they really know how to make them. You can feel that they were pioneers in this field. Because their cars are still pretty amazing, gorgeous. All the Mercedes GTs are beautiful, except the SLS, which hasn't aged well due to its square headlights. But otherwise, they're cool. We're going to set a pretty good time. Well, a decent time. It'll be fine. We gained quite a bit of time compared to the original car since, yeah, we're 20 seconds faster. We did 2:33 with the upgrades. That's not bad either. We're doing better than a 296 GTB, for example, or an MC20. So you see, you can take a car from 10 years ago, a GT, and it can outperform modern supercars. Once we switch to four-wheel drive, the car moves up to R-Class, so we'll be in R-Class. Now, there will be swaps. And with the swaps, there are quite a few options. So, there would be the V6A V6 2F that comes from the Mercedes AMG. More specifically, what's it called again? AMG 1, if I'm not mistaken. That still puts us at R962, we're not far from the classic, huh? Honestly, the car is a lot more capable than I thought. On top of that, the engine saves a little bit of weight, so it could be a good choice. Here we have a power-to-weight ratio of 1. Yeah, exactly 1 horsepower per kilo. Then, we have other engines that might also be a little interesting to test. We're going to have the, I don't know where it comes from, the engine we just installed here. V12 biturbo engine that puts us at 946, so it's a bit lower in performance index. What is this V12 racing engine? It's the engine from the... Oh yes, it's the engine from the Revolto, I think. Okay, in the end, well, it might be less interesting because we still get 150 more horsepower than with the AMG 1 engine, even though, yeah, it's powerful, that's for sure. We also have the 4-liter V8 biturbo, which in my opinion comes from the Mercedes Black Series, so from the GT GTR, let's say, from the next generation. That must be it. I'm just curious about this engine's power, to see if it's interesting or not. Yeah, still, it's 1,200 horsepower too. So yeah, we have plenty of options, we can still make some big builds. Well, in the end, I went with the V8 swap. Even if it's not necessarily the one with the best performance rating, it's still the one that gives the most power with 1,209 horsepower. It's also the one that gives the most torque. It provides the highest top speed, which matters on this track since there's some highway. And on top of that, it allows us to stick with a Mercedes AMG engine since it's the engine from the GT GTR Black Series. So, in the end, it's just a pretty drastic evolution for sure, but it's an evolution of the engine we originally had in this car. So, it still keeps things in the family, let's say. It's the Mercedes AMG family. But it's true that it's a bit weirder to drive. We'll have to get used to it. It feels different, but not because of the swap. I think it's mostly due to switching to all-wheel drive. It's weird. But honestly, I definitely preferred the feeling with rear-wheel drive. Now, you have to fight a bit more with the car to get it back on the line. I think the car pulls so hard it lifts slightly. And when it lifts up a bit, you lose the front end. And so, you can feel it at the corner entry if you come in, well, if you're a bit aggressive, you can tell the car doesn't have all four wheels fully ready to turn properly. Well, on the other hand, It's really fast, you know? We're going to hit 400 even though the aero is set up completely for corners. We'll test it later on a straight line with a top speed setup, because right now we're still hitting 410. On this track, that's really not bad at all. So I think we're dealing with a car that, in terms of top speed, is going to be really good on the straight. Maybe we'll hit 440, huh? It could happen, probably. Yeah, it's a bit understeery, but you get used to it. But here, it's a swap that, yeah, will definitely give us better lap times, that's for sure. We're going to get better times. But the swap, on the other hand, takes away the car's really nice feel. So, yeah, I'm not sure I'd recommend it. Maybe if we had put the AMG 1 engine in, it would have been different. Maybe, I don't know. I was going to say we would have less weight in the front, but then maybe it would be even worse, this thing. But at the same time, the V6 behaves totally differently in terms of its torque and power curves. So, we would probably have a pretty different feeling. I feel like we're not actually going to have a huge time gain on the stopwatch. We're going to do a little better, but nothing crazy either, even though we have 300 more horsepower. Yeah, so what do we gain? We gain, 6 seconds. So, that's not bad, right? But I was expecting better than that, honestly. 2:27.50.51. That's not bad either. Still better than the 287 GTB upgraded, the Sabre, or the GR GT. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. Let's go. We're going to test our car's top speed. I think it has some serious potential. But first, of course, let me remind you that if you liked this video, you can leave a like, subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitch. For the next streams, I regularly play Forza multiplayer. We often do races together, so feel free to follow me. The link will be under this video, in the comments, and in English. Don't forget to use my instant gaming link below this video, and it lets you buy your games for less, while also giving a little support to my channel at the same time. Around 450, maybe 460 kilometers per hour. Still, huh? 470 at the very end. 470 kilometers per hour. Still. So that's not bad. On the rev limiter, I don't think we'd get more than that, even going downhill. 470 is already pretty good. And even on flat ground it stays. Actually, that's what's really interesting. Even on flat ground, it's a car that stays at 440. We're descending slightly as I turn. We're not moving in a straight line. It holds 440 on flat ground and 470 downhill, so its top speed is honestly very good. And even in terms of handling, you see, at 430 we have enough grip to steer the car without losing traction. So, the little AMG GTR in the end is much cooler to drive than I thought. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.